Hey, John. I guess I'm supposed to tell that horrible story of the night that I almost killed you several times. John was the head of programming at CBS Radio, and I was a program director in Kansas City. And after a long day of meetings, Don Balukas said, "Hey, Zellner, need you to drive Gehron to the airport." My dad always told me it's really important that you make eye contact with an important person in a business setting. So I was trying to listen to what you were saying while also trying to focus on getting you to the airport safe and sound. And I ran a couple of red lights, and there was that embankment that we almost slid off of, and the bridge over the Missouri River that we almost plunged to our death in. But outside of that, smooth ride all the way there. So anyway, please accept my apologies on that. I'm glad we both lived to tell the tale. Congratulations, by the way, on your award. Please know that I'm still your biggest fan, and I hope you're still a fan of mine.
You've been a hero of mine forever, and your guidance to me as a mentor over the years has been invaluable. We were driving home from a music research test late at night in Chicago, while at WNUA, and you looked at me and you said, "Michael, change jobs every 5 years. If you don't change jobs every 5 years, you don't learn. The sage has spoken." The next day you walked in the door and you resigned to go to American Radio Systems. Hey, John, thanks for the heads up.
This is what I love so much about John. He understands and understood the passion that the morning show guy or team should have with the listeners. A one-on-one, enjoying and knowing the art of conversation, how to handle that. No phony phone calls, no phony voices, not a lot of music, event music. Music is meant to be an event thing. We didn't need to hear Matchbox 20 for the billionth time. So he understood, and he had the magic and the ability to bring together the sales department with the passion of the morning show, with the passion of the radio station and his management. And that's what makes him number one and my radio hero.
Career success can be measured in a lot of ways, whether it's money or recognition or fame. But I think another good way to measure career success is inspiration and the mentoring of others. And when I think of you, you piloted the biggest radio station in history. And when I look at your staff, they excelled at their craft, but they also inspired others. Inspired others to get into this business, whether it be an on-air personality or behind the scenes working production, or perhaps even a programmer. Anyway, I know your list of accolades are very long, but I hope that the thank yous are equally as long.
Hi, I'm John Records Landecker. That's me right here, John Records Landecker. This is tonight's honoree, John Gehron. This is a guy from the band Boston. Oh, this is Bob Surratt. That's John Sykes. This is a record promoter whose name I don't remember. This is a promoter whose name I do remember, Jeff McCluskey. As you can see, this is the WLS lobby. And by the way, special treat, John Gehron is performing his world famous "I'm putting part of my hand in my pocket" pose. This pose became so famous that it was the inspiration for the Pretenders' big hit, Brass in Pocket. Many people did not know that, but Records truly is my middle name, so it's got to be true. What can I say about John Gehron? He was great to work with. I love the guy. Congratulations. And one day in Chicago, years ago, he almost put his entire hand in his pocket.
I remember having this conversation with him when his big arch enemy, WCFL, finally changed format, and I said to him, "John, aren't you thrilled about this? I mean, what an amazing thing that they've finally gone away." And he said, "You know what, Fred? It's not a good thing. Now I'm the only radio station on AM playing the hits." And that piece of advice about how important it is to have great competition stayed with me for many years. And certainly when I programmed Riff, I remembered the way that John programmed WLS and the way he positioned the radio station. He was always thinking big. So I'm very thankful to John. I actually worked with him in a number of different situations in Boston for various radio stations. I learn from the guy every time I have a conversation with him.
Nearly everyone is familiar with your many successes as a programmer and manager, so I thought I would share a story that reveals more about the kind of person you are. In 1996, American Radio Systems, where you were a regional vice president, was one of Coleman's big clients. I was only a year into my new role with our company. In the beginning, John Coleman would accompany me to most client presentations, but as I got more experience, he backed off and let me run on my own. One day, out of the blue, you called John to tell him how happy you were with the work I was doing for you, and that you were totally comfortable with me being Coleman's point person on the markets you oversaw. John, I can't begin to tell you how humbled I was by your gesture. The fact that someone so well respected in our industry took the time to do that left quite an impression on me. It's an impression that will probably remain with me for as long as I'm in this business.
I've only ever heard John Gehron lose his temper once in all the years I've known him, and that was when I worked for him at WLS. After we had powered Debbie Boone's You Light Up My Life for about 6 months, our incredibly talented and headstrong night guy, John Records Landecker, decided he couldn't take it anymore. So the first time the song came up that night on his show, he played about 30 seconds of it and then took it off the air and said on the air, "I'm never, ever going to play that song again." Well, John Gehron and I were still on the radio station and we both heard it. And I sort of said to myself, I bet you I'm about to learn something about how to manage talent. Gehron pulled Landecker into his office, and within 60 seconds, something exploded in Gehron's office that sounded like a cross between a domestic disturbance, a street brawl, and a riot. And it went on for a while. Eventually, of course, it ended with Landecker agreeing that yes, he would play Debbie Boone all the way through on his show. And he did. Once. 7 seconds at a time through the rest of his show.
There's one part of his personality that still today astounds me. His ability to literally sleep through any meeting. We're talking big time stuff here. All the meetings go on around him. He then wakes up, and then amazingly, he then says something more profound than anyone else in the room.
People love John Gehron. I mean, after all, you've never heard one bad word about this guy. And that's really the point here, is that John is a great radio guy. But more importantly, John is a great person. He's a great cultivator of talent, a great manager, and really, really deserving of the Rockwell Award.
When I was 15, I sent the program director of WLS a letter telling him I wanted to be in radio and how much I loved his radio station, and could I have a bumper sticker or a t-shirt or maybe a playlist. It took a few weeks, but my reply came in the form of this cassette. An incredibly well-edited composite of WLS from early 1976 that's a real snapshot in American radio history. I nourished myself with this tape. I've listened to it hundreds of times. I've shared it with hundreds of friends and probably inspired thousands more, just as the man himself. John Gehron exemplifies the best in Conclave principles, and we are so thrilled to give him our Rockwell Award this year. Congratulations, sir, and thank you for the gift of this tape.
Congratulations on this great honor. You deserve every bit of it. Cheers.
Congratulations on your most well-deserved Rockwell Award.
John, congratulations on being the recipient of the Rockwell Award at the Conclave this year. You are, without a question, one of the great radio broadcasters in the industry.
Congratulations on being the 2017 Rockwell Award recipient.
Congratulations, John. John? John? Can someone please wake up John?